Okay, guys, so this is gonna be a scary video about that earthquake that happened. So, for any of my Western audience, yesterday there was a 7.7 Richter scale earthquake in Myanmar. Um, it was all the way felt in Bangkok, in Thailand, and even here in Vietnam. Um, Latest estimates have 100,000 people dead, with even more missing. It is terrifying. If you just go to YouTube and you type in uh, Myanmar earthquake footage, and you get to see these buildings just collapsing within mere seconds. And let me tell you a couple, like what my experience was like, okay? Where I was yesterday when this happened, I was on a very high floor of a building. And I let's just say I was doing some exercising, yoga, so I had my heart up, right? And all of a sudden I started to feel like the world was spinning. It was this creepy feeling that I've never experienced before, and I thought it was me. I thought that maybe I had hurt myself working out, or I was having some kind of sugar, going into some kind of sugar hypoglycemic or I don't know what was going on. But I thought it was me. It never occurred to me in a million years that we were going through an earthquake. And here, all the way in Vietnam, it registered up to like a 3.0. Um, and somebody very close to me came and notified me, look, there's an earthquake going on. Literally, the stuff in our house is spinning, like the clothes and the clothes are literally. And yeah, so I was like, look, get out, evacuate. And got our shoes. I didn't have time to grab my passport. I didn't grab my money, didn't grab a wallet. Like literally, if you look at those videos, I mean, you got seconds. And if you're on the top floor of some of these buildings, like the best you can do is just hope. But don't try to be grabbing on. So I didn't even grab my passport. I had a decision to make. Try to run down, 30 something flight of stairs as the whole building's shaking. And even here in Vietnam, this happened in Myanmar, and yet it was like 7 kilometers deep into the ground, 6 kilometers deep, and it was a 7.7 Richter. Um, devastation in Thailand. It collapsed a bunch of buildings in Thailand, which I spent a lot in Bangkok, I do believe. I spent a lot of time in Thailand, so that's really scary just to think that like it just. I guess like it's the first earthquake I've ever been through. But anyways, you're not supposed to take an elevator when these earthquakes happen. But also, how do you run down? Let's say that you're 20 stories or above in some building. If it be office, if it be an apartment, whatever. Can you run down 20, 30, 35, 40 flights of stairs when you have mere seconds? Or do you take the elevator, which, if it gets loose, you're going to, both is a gamble. So we decided to, I took the elevator. I risked it. As we went outside, I noticed there was people who had already evacuated, but there were so many people who didn't take it serious. Literally, it felt like, imagine if you were somebody punched you and you just felt, and it was circular, like the earthquake. I don't know if you've ever been through an earthquake, but it doesn't just shake. It's not like somebody's just like going ooh. It was a circular feeling. It felt like my brain, because I'd just been working out. So that's why I thought it was me. I literally was laying down, like, what's going on with me? Am I having some kind of heart attack? Um, but yeah, we evacuated. People were standing right at the base of the building just filming. And I was like, no, you need to run far. Like, I was having flashbacks of like September 11th. And if these buildings come collapsing, all that rubble, all that debris, all that toxin, all that stuff is good. You need to be, you know, you need to be far away, as far as you could get. So yeah, we went. I met up with a few people. We went to a park nearby, and I would say the shaking itself And so this happened in Myanmar, the country of Myanmar. 10,000 dead, I believe, as of yet. 100,000, maybe. I don't know how many died in Thailand. And, but in Vietnam, I mean, literally, it was felt in Hanoi, Vietnam. So think about that. Myanmar, there's Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, then Vietnam. Like, that was how powerful this thing was. Um, but one thing about earthquakes is, like, there's always the risk of an afterquake. So for people who don't know what earthquakes are, there's tectonic plates. So Earth is a big orb, right? But there is shifting uh, plates the size of continents. All right, they're called tectonic plates that are moving, and once they hit each other, they create a vibration. If it happens in the ocean, so imagine these continent size, these country size masses of just you know, earth core material rock that are the size of continents, of countries, hitting each other, going under, going on top of each other, because Earth is moving. Yeah, underneath you, it's moving. So you have the core of Earth, you have the lava, you have the density. There's all these different layers. But that's what creates mountains. Is when these tectonic plates push against each other. But anyways, when it happens, it creates vibrations. If it happens in the ocean, that's how you get a tsunami. It happens on land, but it, I would say that it lasted. Once I realized it was an earthquake, I mean, I was freaked out. I was just like, hey, flight or fright, trying to get the people I cared about to safety. Didn't even grab my phone. I didn't grab my passport. I didn't grab anything. If you know if something bad would have happened, it's best just to have your life. And that's the advice I want to give you guys. I really suggest that you just watch some of the videos about the earthquake and how quick. There's a really devastating video of some construction workers who are working on a high rise, and you see the crane start to shake, and literally, I would say within 15 seconds, the whole building collapsed. I mean, there's usually a couple hundred guys on the job site. You could see them running, and they didn't have a chance. So, I mean, yeah, obviously try to get out. But once you do get out, don't go back in once it stops. Because a lot of times there's an afterquake. So usually about maybe anywhere from like 7 to 20 minutes, there could be a follow-up earthquake. Sometimes it won't be as powerful. Sometimes it is. But another thing you got to think about is the construction material here in Southeast Asia. There's a lot of corners that are cut when it comes to how buildings are made. So the concrete, the rebar. Um, I'm not going to name a certain country, but let's just say there is a country, a very big country that does a lot of construction around Asia. Okay, and look, they they use cheap material. They get it's the lowest bid, so they use cheap material, and they don't build to have any. If you build with concrete, concrete is not meant to move. It will crack, and once cracks happen, that vibration happens. So that's why if you look at a lot of modern day buildings, say like in New York, they're able to move. They can actually sway in the wind. They have foundations and things that are built into them. So in case of movement, you know, but unfortunately here in Southeast Asia, it's concrete, it's rebar. There's no reinforcements in the foundations, and there's a certain country that builds a lot around the world. Um, I'm not going to get political and say the name of it, um, but yeah, when you build with cheap materials, when you build with just concrete, rebar, and you have no safety supports and planning for if there is vibrations, and that's what it is. Earthquake is vibrations. And think about it. You take a concrete block, okay, and put it on something that just vibrates, right? And watch and see if it just cracks and breaks. Well, think if you have hundreds of thousands of tons of a 30-story building that's all supported by rebar and concrete. All it takes is one big crack, and then it all collapses down. So, anyways, I waited outside for a good 20 minutes, even 25 minutes. I was really paranoid to go back in. Um, I've never been through an earthquake, so it was very humbling. I've been through volcanoes, tornadoes, typhoons, flooding, hurricanes. Uh, I've been through every natural disaster there is, except for a major earthquake, except till now. And let me tell you, I think out of all of them, I mean, I've literally seen tornadoes chasing after me. I've been in floods, as you could look on my YouTube channel, as 200 something people died in Laokai due to the flooding last year. And I was out in that trying to warn and save people. In the beginning, I was just filming it, just to, like, this is unreal. Um, I've been in hurricanes. I was in Hurricane Rita. I was in Hurricane um, Wilma in Florida, way back in the day. I think I was also in Hurricane Charles. I wasn't. I drove through the aftermath of Katrina, which was the one that damaged New Orleans. But I've seen volcanoes, not an actual a blast, but through Hawaii when I visited the islands. And yeah, obviously I've been through typhoons. I was just through Typhoon Yagi. But earthquakes are scary because if you're living, like I said, in concrete, and if it's and just so you know, earthquakes are measured in what's called the Richter scale. Okay, so EF is the tornadoes, so EF1, EF2, EF3, EF4, EF5. That is the measurement of a tornado. Earthquakes, so the geologists used what's called a Richter scale, and it measures the vibrations, the tectonic plates, and I think it goes up to like 9, maybe 10 is like the highest it goes, and this was like a 7.7. So this was a devastating. And also, if you're on a bridge or under a bridge driving, you need to get out of that. By the way, I see a lot of videos of people stopping on bridges, filming, or underneath it. Like, you realize those bridges are made of concrete too, and they could come. So, anyways, I'm reading the reports now, and it's just I actually have a trip here pretty soon to one of those countries that was affected. I'm not going to say what it is, but I have some business to handle in a nearby country. I'm going to be there, and yeah, it just goes to show you, like, your life. Every day you wake up, you never think that it could be your last. I mean, you know it. You always know in the back of your mind at any moment a meteor could come, or you could have a heart attack or whatever. But when it comes to something like an earthquake, like, those people woke up that morning, went to work, kissed their wives goodbye, those construction men, or like, had their last breakfast, probably had plans, talking to their friends, like, and now that they're gone, 100,000 people gone, and I have seen so much death throughout my life. It haunts me how much death that I've seen, suffering, death. But now that I'm even seeing it on the other side of the world in Asia, if it made like Typhoon Yagi, when all those people died in my city of Laokai and Zappa, my favorite city, those are my people. Those are my, the people I care about are in Laokai and Zappa. So, anyways, I just wanted to share that experience with you, just because I feel shaken. I feel, I guess, I don't mean to make a joke out of that. I feel emotionally shaken by that. I don't know how to process that, just because I felt it, and it, it's like the world is going in circles. It's not vibrating, it's circles. It was so freaking scary once we realized what it was. And choosing elevator or stairs, both are, could be, your last decision. But anyways, my thoughts really do go to all those who have suffered. I'm going to be in one of the countries that had a lot of people pass away here pretty soon, and yeah, I tried to help some people last time through charity, helping that homeless man. Um, Maybe this time I can help with some relief. Try to give you guys some places where you can maybe donate to some government charities or nonprofits and things like that, because people do need help out here. Um, People here do need help. In Thailand, Myanmar. I don't think Hanoi was, or Vietnam, or Ho Chi Minh City. They even felt it in Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon. So, but I'll keep you informed, and yeah, just stay safe. And just remember, tell the people you love that you love them, because you never know. You might not never get a chance. And if you're around your grandma right now, or if you have access to see your grandma or your family, hug them and just say I love you. It's been it's been over half a decade since I've been able to hug my family and just say I love you. Don't live your life in fear, but also just know that, look, hey, any moment. All right. Stay safe, guys. Thanks for listening.